found out that I took my freedom. I even tried to negotiate with the president. I told him that I would return if and only if he granted me my freedom upon his death and Miss Martha's. I thought that the terms were reasonable. He did not. I heard that he was quite angry. So the president hunted me until his death. I lived 75 good years. I spent my life free from about the age of 23 to 75 years of age. It was not easy for free blacks. We faced racial prejudice. We had difficulties earning a living. Still, life was good. God gave me freedom. God gave me a husband named Jack Staines. He was a Mariner. God gave me 3 beautiful children that we named Eliza, Nancy, and William. I became known as Ona Maria Judge Staines. I was a respectable, free woman, wife, and mother. I learned that President Washington died on December 14th, 1799. In his will, he said that his slaves would be freed upon the death of his wife. Miss Martha freed all the enslaved Africans in 1800. I learned later that my dear sister, Philadelphia Judge, married Miss Martha's grandson, William Custon, who was also called a mulatto that same year. Miss Martha died on May 22nd, 1802. The good Lord took me home from Greenland, New Hampshire on February 25th, 1848. I went on up to the promised land. Please, children, remember me when you think about freedom, when you talk about freedom. My name is Oney Judge, and I took my precious freedom.
Thank you again, Diane. What a wonderful story for children and for adults, for that matter. Welcome to the program. Your comment or question for Diane?
Thank you. My name is Ed Lawler. My question is about Pennsylvania was the first state to begin an abolition of slavery. So I was wondering if you could tell us more about the 1780 Gradual Abolition Act and how Washington was able to hold Oney Judge and the other 8 enslaved Africans in his presidential household.
The way he was able to do it was by sending enslaved Africans back and forth from Pennsylvania to Virginia in some instances, but in other instances, secretively, he would keep some of them here. But because he was the president at that time, I think it is safe to say that he evaded the law.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Hi, my name is Sherry Jackson. I'm with the National Park Service, with the National Underground Railroad Network to Freedom program here in the Northeast region. And my question is about Oney's family that was still at Mount Vernon. Were they able to, was Oney able to communicate with her family, and did her family suffer a consequence for her leaving?
That's a good question, and I know that she found out. She had heard, there was a network that she had heard about her sister getting married. But in terms of direct contact, I don't know that for an answer. That might be left for someone else to research. Once again, I can't overemphasize the fact that it was very dangerous, the fact that she escaped. And if, in fact, there was contact, there probably would have been consequences for other family members.
Hi, tell us your name and what you'd like to share with us today.
How are you? My name is Everett Aaron Benjamin. I am a senior at the University of Pennsylvania, working with High School of the Future. And my question deals with the archiving that you've done. Trying to understand, first off, what kind of things you uncovered, and also what kind of conversation is now going on between the text that you found and works like Equiano or Frederick Douglass's Slave Narratives, and just trying to understand what people are saying, whether it be regards to black female slaves or just African slaves in general, as for their desire for liberation and freedom.
Okay, in terms of Oney, the book just came out, so I don't really have a lot of comments about it yet. But I work at the Charles L. Blockson Afro-American Collection, and there we have over 5,000 rare books, and among them a large number of slave narratives. And what I would do is encourage you to come to the collection and see what we have, and that might be something that you might want to research yourself. But in terms of Oney and the presidential house right now, it's pretty controversial. It's still ongoing in terms of how her story is going to be interpreted or told. But as I had mentioned, there are many stories that need to be recovered because one of the things you find is some of the greatest stories or explorations in American freedom come right out of the African community, this desire for freedom. So it's a great American story, and it's for everyone. And you'll find universal themes in it. I mean, Oney was African American, but what did she want? Freedom. And that's a major theme in American history, so it's universal.
Welcome to the program. What would you like to share with us today?
My name is Iman Griffin. I'm from High School of the Future, and I just had a comment for you. And my comment was that the children's book on Oney Judge is a really, really good idea. 4 years ago, I decided I wanted to be a part of the Belmont Mansion program here. I go to School of the Future, and we have a partnership. And it was really kind of inspirational for me to find out about my roots and stuff like that. And I wanted to continue to grow, not just here at Belmont Mansion, but in other ways, because I didn't know about that story, and it's good to know. And I wish I would have known about that when I did my senior project, because I did it on female abolitionism, and it would have been really, really good to find that out. So thank you.
Thank you, and I hope that you go on and write your book.
Welcome to the program. Your comment or question for Ms. Diane.
My name is Kwasan Baker. I'm a senior at High School of the Future, as well as a senior docent here at the Belmont Mansion. Through my research, it was believed that George Washington, as well as many other founding fathers, were entertained here at the Belmont Mansion. I wanted to know, is there a possibility that Oney Judge visited the Belmont Mansion? Is that a possibility? She could have visited here?
During the period that she was in Philadelphia, that could be a possibility. What I would say is, you need to do some research and see. If Martha came during the time Oney was here, Oney would have been with her. Not necessarily the president, but the president and his wife.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Hello, my name is Anthony Taylor, and I think that Miss Judge's story is a strong testament for freedom and a serious indictment against the institution of slavery when you're living in the president's home and yet you're still willing to run away. And with that being said, I'd just like to know if you know anything about her treatment by either Miss Washington or President George Washington, from your research.
From my research, if you look at the enslaved Africans that were brought to Philadelphia, and Oney mentions the 8 of them, they were treated as any other servants were treated. They weren't treated poorly, but the point was that Oney wanted her freedom, so she was still enslaved. No matter how she was treated, she still didn't have the choices as everybody else did. And that's why I believe she escaped, because her desire for freedom was much greater than living in the president's house, was more important to her.
Thank you so much, Diane. What a fascinating story this has been for all of us. Any final thoughts on Oney Judge before we wrap?
Yes, I would just like to give you some food for thought about Oney Judge. And this is, you cannot underestimate the power of the human spirit. And the power to overcome grew with Oney, along with the opposition against her. And she claimed her freedom. She took her freedom.
Fitting words indeed. Thank you so much to historian Diane Turner for sharing Oney Judge's story with us, to our wonderful audience for all their questions and comments, to Belmont Mansion for being such a gracious host for us for this program. And remember that Humanities on the Road is a joint project with the Pennsylvania Humanities Council and the Pennsylvania Cable Network, and we'd love for you to watch all of our shows. In fact, if you're interested in more information, we would encourage you to go to the website, pahumanities.org. You'll find out about all our shows and the speakers who do this kind of thing all over Pennsylvania for free. Once again, special thanks to Diane Turner. We have learned so much during My Name is Oney Judge. I'm Tracy Matisak. Thanks for watching.